might need to be replaced on this. That might be what it's time for. I don't know how old the fuel pump is, but it feels like I just lost fuel pressure for a second. That was interesting. Oh, see, it just deadlined. What just happened? Oh no.
What's up, guys? iFixit in your face. Don't forget, I have a Facebook that you guys can join if you have questions about anything in the video or anything in regards to anything motorcycle, scooter, fix-it stuff. Join my Facebook. It's an easy way to get in contact with me and get you help you need. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, all that good stuff, man. I make these videos for you guys. I don't make them for me. You can help me by dropping a subscription. Join the Facebook. I'm telling you, man, join the Facebook. If you're trying to get in contact with me, it's the easiest way to do it. Okay? Don't forget, everything you need is in the description below of the video. Let's get started.
This is how my day went yesterday to start off my day. Well, luckily I was able to solve the problem pretty fast and I have an idea what it is, but for the first time, this girl left me stranded for about a half hour in a parking lot until I figured out what was going on. Just watch the video. I'll get back to you in a sec.
Be curious to see if it does that again. Felt like I hit some kind of like air or fuel blockage. It might be my fuel pump might need to be replaced on this. That might be what it's time for. I don't know how old the fuel pump is, but it feels like I just lost fuel pressure for a second. That was interesting. Oh, see, it just deadlined. What just happened? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh no. What just happened? I just lost power. Oh shit. That sucks. What the fuck? Oh no. Oh shit. You're good. Just come around. Fuck. Yo, yeah, I don't know. I think I got a loose loom wire or something. The bike just completely cut out on me while I was riding, and then I played with my wires that I redid up here, and it started working again. So I think I need to have a look at my wiring when I get home.
What's up, guys? iFixit in your face, Daniel, and I ride motorcycles. What I do, I work on them, fix them, ride them. I do everything with them. We're going to talk about some stuff that I think you should pay attention to, especially if you're thinking about buying a bike. And I knew about these problems walking into this bike, just so that you're aware. I'm somebody who works on bikes all the time, so I'm more than up for a good challenge. Since I got this old, 95 F3, been having some electrical issues from day one. And yesterday the bike left me stranded for the first time, which I got resolved fairly quickly. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it still is, because there's something now I need to track down. So when you're buying an older bike, guys, I want you to think that, the older the bike is, the older the wiring loom that everything operates on, the connectors, the copper wire or steel that's used inside, whether it was left outside in the rain, corrosion, especially copper. Copper becomes really brittle when it gets old and corroded quickly from being left out in the elements. So when you're buying a bike, my suggestion to you is bring somebody with you who knows about bikes before you make a purchase. So I don't mind tracking down electrical issues. I have a multimeter. I will sit there all day with my multimeter, and I'll go through the whole system until I find the break in it. And sometimes, guys, it's not fixable. Sometimes you can't find the break, and that's the problem with electrical stuff, is that if you can't find either the maybe it's a loose ground, or it's a short in the wiring system, or cross polarization across the wires on something this old. Hell, this bike's fucking almost 30 years old. I don't expect the wiring loom to be perfect. And when I bought the bike, it was like in disrepair. It was in very rough shape. Most of the electrical system was actually fried on the back end of the bike. I had to redo everything and direct wire a lot of stuff. The headlight refused to come on, so I had to wire that into the fuse panel. There was a whole bunch of stuff that just was not working out well with the bike. The ignition had been cut and hot wired and wasn't done correctly, and it was attached in the wrong spots, which was heating up other places on the bike. And so I knew going into this that I was going to have some problems. But the bike's shutting off on me. That's a big one. That means I need to go through the wiring loom again and start jostling and shaking things and seeing if I can find where there's a short or a break or a bad connector. So all I'm saying is, and this is just an awareness video for you guys, if you think about buying an older bike, bear in mind, they're a lot of fun, they're cheaper to operate, keep on the road, most of them are carbureted, so they're easy maintenance to take care of. But the older the bike, the more probability you're going to have wiring issues and electrical problems. Okay, so bear that in mind. Also, if you see a bike that somebody's like, oh, I replaced all this and I did all this and I cut all these wires and it was my project, I was gonna finish it but I'm not going to now, somebody just needs to wire the bike, and you'll have a great bike and then they try to sell it to you for like $1,500, $2,000. They're out of their mind. The only reason that they are trying to sell it to you now is because they can't figure out how to rewire the bike themselves. And without a wiring diagram and a lot of knowledge, you're not gonna do it either. And if you take it to a shop, they're gonna look at you and be like, absolutely not. We are not even going to touch this. If you would like to put a new wiring loom on the bike, we'd be more than happy to do that for you if we can get our hands on one, but we're not even going to get close to this job, right? So bear that in mind. Most shops won't even try to help you track down electrical issues, because when they can't find the problem, they still want to get paid for their time. So even if they can't find the issue, if a technician sits there and spends 10 hours going through your electrical system and still can't find your issue, guess what? He still applied 10 hours of his time to try to find it. You now owe him for 10 hours of your time, or his time, at probably $100 an hour or better, and you still have a bike that isn't fixed. Yet you will still have to pay him for his time. So, older bikes are fun, but be aware. Most of them are plagued with electrical issues, and you're going to run into them down the road. Now this bike, I'm fairly certain this has something to do with the ignition on it, so I'm going to go back through and check the ignition wires, because when I jiggled the ignition cable, things started powering back up again. The bike turned back on and ran great the rest of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that mine has to do with the ignition and wherever those wires go to. So I'm going to have to get in there and check the connectors. Sorry. I'm going to have to get in there and check the connectors and see what's going on. But just be aware, if you're buying an older bike, take somebody with you who knows what they're doing. Make sure they go through the entire electrical system, test everything, headlights, move the handlebars around a lot, jiggle wires that you can see that are loose. Because once you buy the bike, it's your bike. So if you get home and realize this dude did some weird stuff to the bike just to make it function, that's on you. Now you have to solve the problem or sell it to somebody else and make it their problem. And that sucks to do that, because then you're a shitbag. And that's, I hate to say it that way, but that's the reality of it. So just be careful when buying older bikes. That's all I'm going to say. Bring somebody with you who understands motorcycles when purchasing an older bike if you can. All right? Because pretty much almost every single older bike I've ever dealt with has had electrical issues. Whether it's turn signals or ignition, or headlight won't come on or off, or your headlights going in between high beam, low beam anytime the handlebars move, or you'll move the handlebars and the entire cluster will shut down but the bike will stay working. Like, those are all electrical problems. That's serious stuff that needs to be resolved and figured out. You can't just drive it like that. It'll create other problems down the road. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to touch on that. Unless you're willing to take your own time and energy and go through the wiring on an older bike, you might want to avoid anything older than 20 years old, right? And even some newer bikes, man, they have electrical problems too. Anytime you go to buy a bike, look up the main problems for the bike. Be like, common issues of the CBR 600 F3, which is, that's what this is. So look up common issues for the bike, and trust me, there's forums out there. People just like stator, rectifier, regulator, stator. If you see one consistency in a problem, you can pretty much assume you're going to run into that problem on your own down the road. So just bear that in mind. Same thing with cars. When you go to buy cars, look up common issues with these engines, these machines, because you'll learn a lot very quickly about whether you're going to end up with a good deal or a bad deal just based on what everybody else is saying. Like I said, you will find the commonality in there. Trust me, if there's a problem that is plagued across the board, you will know, because everybody will be talking about it. So anyways, just thought that would help. Don't forget to smash the like button, show a little love and support for your boy, and I'll catch you guys on the flip. Toodles.